Hey everybody, this is Retro Challenge Gamer, and we're going to move onward to World 7 of my Super World in Super Mario Maker 2. And let me tell you, my recording for getting through all this slowed down around this point because the levels started getting a lot harder. Because after I finished recording a section of the world, then I went back and did individual levels for the perfect runs and everything, and so my recording as a whole just slowed the heck down as I was struggling to get through the levels to get all the perfect runs. Now, snow levels, ice levels, I've always had a fond spot in my heart for them, right alongside desert levels. So snow and desert levels are kind of like my favorite levels to create. And hopefully that shows through as you see the levels as I play through them. But of course I gave you a free one-up right there because, I mean, we're now entering a new phase of difficulty in these levels. You thought World 6 was tricky, there's a little bit more to it. A little more difficulty. Now, the star of the show in this level was actually Red Yoshi. Before this level was finalized, Red Yoshi did not even exist at all, because at the time when I first made this level, World 7-1, I had no idea how to make a Red Yoshi. I didn't know that by increasing the size of the egg with the power-up mushroom in the editor, you change the red egg from a green to a red egg. And then thus you have a fire-breathing Yoshi. I didn't know you could do that. I had to actually look that up online. And once I looked that up online, I was just like, well, I need to use him. I need to figure out where I can use this fire Yoshi. Where would be a good place to use him? So as I was looking through the levels I had created at the time, World 7-1 had a lot of enemies going for it, as you can see. It's a vertical scaling level, which is one of my favorite type of designs I like to do. And I was just like, this is a perfect opportunity to allow Red Yoshi to shine. And so, of course, it made sense that we needed to add him at the bottom of this, big vertical segment, and then you have him for hopefully the rest of the level. Now, if you feel like the question block that he found him in at the bottom of this area seemed kind of hastily tacked on, it's kind of because it was. He didn't actually exist originally in this level. So I had to find a place to put him quickly. So an added benefit of having a Fire Yoshi is, of course, fireballs, 3 that you shoot when you have a Fire Flower power-up. Which of course makes this next section even easier than it already is. So the difficulty of this level was actually a lot harder without Yoshi. So if you manage to lose Yoshi or screw up so bad he disappears and falls into a pit or something, this level actually becomes a little bit more difficult as a result. So he really makes or breaks the difficulty in this level. As you can see, he's breaking it really hard. Because this last section, without him, it's pretty rough. I mean, because you won't have any other way of getting around these pokies unless you pick up snowballs from the previous one and throw it at the next one to shrink them down a little bit so you can jump over him. So Yoshi is truly a boon in this level, and actually the second official appearance in the Super World without having to find him in a secret area. So yeah, a lot to talk about with that level. So we move on to the next level, which testing for this next level was very difficult. I knew the night version of snow levels was all ice physics, like everything was ice. And wow, what kind of reaction was that? First of all, yeah, this doesn't bode well for any one-ups. So yeah, wow, I quickly lost that one, didn't I? Anyway, moving on. Testing this level, I knew what the basic core idea was going to be. It was going to be a running track throughout most of the level, where you had to deal with ice physics and avoid obstacles and things like that. In fact, Forest Track Frenzy, my third level, dealt with a similar concept, but probably just not as clean and neatly as this one does. So it's a short level, all said and done, despite the fact that it uses the whole length of one of the worlds, one of the sub-worlds. Oh, no. But it is not pleasant at all. It is very difficult. So testing this level to make sure it was doable, it was fair, it was, not cheap or trollish, this level took a lot out of me, especially when I tried to clear check it, and I also tried to make sure that all 3 pink coins were achievable. So right away, you get ice physics even on the platforms themselves, which of course makes all of this harder. If it weren't for the ice physics, this level would actually be a lot easier, even if I changed nothing else. So a lot of these coin placements and these icicle placements, everything was placed deliberately as I was testing through to make sure you would have to go through this area in exactly one way and one way only, which is the way I'm showing you. And I'm actually doing a pretty darn good job of it. And I did not get to the sides of the platform fast enough, but you can avoid that buzzsaw by getting through on either the far left or far right side of the platform. Now, this acorn does not show up if you don't have, if you're not Super Mario already. This is actually the one and only time in the game where, if you do not have Super Mario power-up already active, that acorn will not show up. It's not an immediate, automatic power-up like it has been in the past, out of a question block. So that was World 7-2. Sweet, short, but very dirty in terms of challenge. But yeah, a lot of people can get through that fairly quickly. I'm surprised that nobody's gotten under a minute on that one. There's a few ways you can speed up the completion as you get through the level. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the next actual castle. This is actually the second and last castle, I believe, that does not have that is not part of an in-boss level where you have one of the Koopa kids as the boss. So Boom Boom, this is the second Boom Boom castle, if you will. Well, that made up for the last minigame, didn't it? So this castle is pretty interesting. It uses now a gimmick I've been holding back for so long, for, you know, a lot of levels. And I'm finally able to use it here, which is the spike crushing pillar. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, Crushing Death Fortress. These huge spike pillars that go and crush you. But first, a couple deaths that I incurred. Okay, so maybe one death. This level actually is a lot easier than it has a right to be for this late in the Super World. But at the time I was designing it, it seems like it was a good, fair challenge for World 7-3. I mean, I introduced the Crushing Death spike thing down below where it can't hurt anybody right before you get one that's gonna hit you right in the face. But yeah, the rest of this is just a rising lava segment, which you saw the splice there because of my one death, where you have to deal with bullet bills and of course more crushing pillars. And you actually kind of have to use maybe hopefully the bullet bills to get higher. So all said and done, this level is very short. Looking back on it, I don't know what I was thinking, why I made this level so short. Because already we're at the boss. And the boss is actually very difficult if you are not Fire Mario, because you got the bullet bills over your head, which will hit you when you're trying to jump on top of Boom Boom, and then you got the ice, which will probably slide you off to the sides or into the Crushing Death pillar in the middle of the platform. So it really restricts your movement. That is probably one of the harder Boom Boom battles in this entire Super World. Very short level. I could have made at least one more extra section in that level, but whatever. Maybe take it as a breather level, if you will, after that horrible 7-2 level with all the ice. Okay, this next level, I had a very unique idea. I don't think I have seen it yet in a level online, but I was like, when was the last time we saw the Angry Sun? You know? The last time we saw the Angry Sun was back in, I think, World 2-1 or something. I barely used it at all. And so I was thinking, what if we mixed a snow level with the Angry Sun of a desert level? And for some strange reason, it actually works here. So Angry Snowfields is what I named this level because of the sun.
Oh no!
Now, this level is actually deceivingly difficult, and there's so many things that could wreck you up. and I'll go through that as we run through the level. And you can already see some of the issues that we have here. It's probably one of the most deaths I've had since I can't even remember. A lot of deaths. In fact, these last two levels alone in World 7 are some of the hardest ones in the game. So of course we start off in an ice cave, giving you that lovely ice physics. This is nowhere near as bad as the one in World 7-2, but this next section with all the swinging claws can be a little difficult. You will need to use your little jump twirls to get across the chasm here. But this opening section is not indicative of what's going to happen in the rest of the level, so this is like a separate thing altogether. Okay, this 30 coin, it is possible to get with just jumping and twirling alone, but it is extremely hard, and I'll show you exactly an easier way of getting it when I come back on and re-record this for a perfect run. So the Angry Sun makes his appearance, and he's pretty much there through the remainder of the level, and he's difficult to, you know, get out of his reach, unless, of course, a snowball from above, as you just saw, takes him out. So I was actually lucky there. The snowball, I didn't realize that could happen until after I had released the Super World, that one of the snowballs, especially at his level, could take out the Angry Sun. That was a revelation to me, and something I did not factor in. But since I had already reset everyone's progress by changing up World 4-2 and re-uploading everything, I was like, I'm not going to do it twice. The level is good as is, so I left the exploit for getting rid of the Angry Sun by a snowball. So that was the whole level. It's another fairly short level. Like I said, all these levels are meant to be short so you can complete them and have speedrunner records, but it was definitely not sweet. There's a lot of nuances to the challenge there, and a lot of that will become evident when we go back to get the perfect run. In fact, thank you. Quite good level design. Thank you so much. That was actually, I will admit, one of my prouder level design creations that I've made. I rather enjoy that level, despite how hard it can be. Oh, and now we get to this airship. This one is a doozy, everybody. Let me explain. Okay, so not even just trying to get all the 3 pink coins, but also to clear check this level. The first couple times as I was getting through it, this level is pretty relentless all the way through. It follows the same core concept of Boom Boom's flagship level back in World 5, where you're underneath the airship, and then you go inside the airship back the other way, and then you go back on top of the airship the other way. So it's a 3-pronged design through one single airship. In this case, Ludwig's Dreadnaught, where I combine all the elements of all previous gimmicks and gizmos in World 7, and even before World 7, into one big, massive airship level. In fact, there are 2 more airship-like-ish levels in World 8, but I'd have to say this is probably the pinnacle of airship levels. This is the worst one. Anything after this one, not as bad, not as hard, especially if you're slow and you're careful and you don't rush. This is literally, in my opinion, the hardest level in the airship theme in my Super World. So the first section isn't terribly hard, maybe for the first couple times until you realize the timing and what you're supposed to do at each and every moment. So as long as you know what to do in each area, basically it isn't really that bad. This can be a little hair-raising, and it took me a couple tries to get it so you could get past that without being, plunged into the abyss there. This level took a lot of testing. Probably another 3-day worth of creation. First day to get the basic core idea down, 2 to test, and 3 to finalize this whole mess of a level. It is so many ideas chocked full into one single airship level. And I struggled to try and figure out how to incorporate the crushing pillars, the bullet bills, and as you'll see, the electric magic Koopa, not magic Koopas, mecha Koopas. Which in my opinion, I felt like I did a good job in this coming section here. So obviously, there's two pillars that are blocked off by bricks that you need to have them destroy. Now, the original goal was to hop back and forth between the pillars until the second one fires off and destroys the second round of blocks for you. I didn't realize until later that you could actually hang back and goad him into destroying the second pillar of bricks until after it was released, after I uploaded everything. But exploits, everybody. Everybody loves exploits. So yeah, you've seen some splicing because of all of my deaths in this level. I wanted to get at least one good run, but that'll be saved for the perfect run later. So here we're just rounding out the remainder of the level and using the last of the crushing pillars and stuff as the final obstacle. I'd say pretty much unless you do something really, really stupid, you get to the top portion of this level, the top part of the airship, you pretty much have the level in the bag outside of Ludwig, the boss. The boss here is probably one of the hardest, save for Bowser. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Like the Boom Boom battle, which had the bullet bills blocking your jump height, here you have the electric magic Koopas that are blocking your jump height. And then you have pits on either side, you have burners on either side, and you have the spike crush pillar in the middle. And then of course Ludwig, one of the hardest Koopa kids of the lot, trying to kill you. I don't know how long I've tried to test this to get right, just the right difficulty where it made sense to me. And he's the only one which has a door which you can accidentally get back into and refight him. And they're just, I'll be honest, I forgot to get that door above the ground so you couldn't go back in it and accidentally refight Ludwig. But the more I thought about it, I'm just like, you know what? Ludwig would be the kind of a-hole to do that and put a door leading back to him and be like, surprise, I'm back! So he would have that type of personality. So I left that little goof in just for fun. And so we move on to the final world, which, as you guessed it, is the Volcano Dark Underworld. 5 more levels left. We are almost done with this whole super world, everybody. And I decided to change it up. As you see, there is a mini-boss ghost house sort of thing, but also 2 airships and the final castle and just 1 normal course. So World 8 breaks all the mold of everything that's gone before, because why not? It's the last world. We might as well change things up. So until then, see you later.